come. Ladies and gentlemen, you ever sit there staring at your phone, waiting for that one person to call or text? You know they love you. Come. You can feel it. But days, weeks, even months go by and you hear nothing. And you start asking yourself, did I do something wrong? Come. Did they stop caring? But let me tell you something. Sometimes the silence ain't about you at all. Sometimes, come, the ones who love you the most are the ones who stay the quietest. And by the time I'm done talking, come, you're going to see why they never reach out. Even when their heart is screaming for you, sometimes love isn't enough to make someone reach out. You might sit there wondering why they never call, never text, never check in. You know they care. You feel it deep down. But still, come, the silence stays. And let me tell you, most of the time, it's not about you. Come, it's about them and the battles they're fighting within themselves. People go through things they don't always talk about. They carry pain, come, insecurities, fears, and past experiences that shape the way they love. Just because someone loves you doesn't mean they know how to show it. Come. Some people have been hurt before, and that hurt teaches them to be cautious. Maybe they were once open. Maybe they once gave their heart freely, come, and maybe that heart got broken. Now, they protect themselves. They build walls, not because they want to keep you out, come, but because they're scared to let you in. There are people who sit with their phone in their hand, staring at your name, come, wanting so badly to reach out, but something inside stops them. It could be fear of saying the wrong thing, fear of being too vulnerable, fear of being ignored. And you might be sitting there on the other side, wondering why they never make a move, come, not knowing they're battling themselves every single day. Some people deal with deep insecurities. They love you, come, but they don't think they're good enough for you. They overthink every word, every action, every possible response you might give, come. They convince themselves that maybe you're better off without them. So instead of reaching out, they stay silent, come, hoping you'll be happier that way. It's not that they don't care. It's that they care too much. Then there's the weight of past trauma, come. Maybe they've been through relationships where they were always the one putting in effort and they got nothing in return, come. Maybe they tried loving before and all it did was leave them broken. Now, even though their heart tells them to reach out, come, their mind reminds them of every time love let them down. They hesitate because getting close means risking getting hurt again. And for some, that's a risk they're just not ready to take. Mental health plays a role too. Anxiety, depression, stress, these things can make even the simplest act of reaching out feel like an impossible task. When someone is struggling inside, come, even sending a text can feel overwhelming. It's not that they don't want to talk to you. It's that their mind is so clouded with their own battles that they don't have the energy to reach out, even to the people they love the most. Come. And let's not forget that some people just weren't raised to express love openly. Maybe they grew up in an environment where love was quiet, come, where emotions weren't shared freely, where affection wasn't something that came naturally. They might love you deeply, come, but they just don't know how to show it. They assume you already know how they feel, so they don't see the need to say it. The truth is, come, love doesn't always look the way we expect it to. Sometimes love is loud and expressive, and sometimes love is quiet and distant, come. But silence doesn't always mean absence. Just because someone isn't reaching out doesn't mean they don't think about you every single day, come. Just because they're not texting doesn't mean you're not on their mind. Some people show love differently, come. Some people are just wired to keep their emotions inside. So before you assume someone doesn't care because they don't reach out, come, think about what they might be going through. Think about the battles they might be fighting behind closed doors. Think about the fears, come, the insecurities, the past pain that might be holding them back. Sometimes it's not about whether they love you, come. It's about whether they're strong enough to show it. And here's the most important part. If you love them, come. Don't wait for them to reach out. Sometimes people need to be reminded that it's safe to love, that it's okay to be vulnerable, that they're not alone. Be the one to break the silence. Be the one to show them that love doesn't have to be scary. Because at the end of the day, love isn't just about feeling something. It's about showing it. They love you, but they don't reach out. And it's not because they don't care. It's because they're afraid. Afraid of what? Afraid of saying the wrong thing. Afraid of making things worse. Afraid that if they open up, they'll either be rejected or they'll end up hurting you in ways they never intended. Fear has a strange way of keeping people silent, even when their heart is screaming for connection. Some people hold back because they've convinced themselves that their presence in your life might not be what's best for you. They tell themselves, what if I reach out and mess things up? What if I make them unhappy? What if I ruin the way things are right now? They let these thoughts take over, and instead of reaching out, they do nothing. Not because they don't love you, but because they love you so much that they would rather step back than risk causing you pain. Rejection is another heavy thing that keeps people from making a move. Nobody wants to feel like they aren't wanted. Nobody wants to put themselves out there only to be ignored, dismissed, or made to feel like they're a burden. And the truth is, some people have experienced that rejection before. Maybe not from you, but from others in their past. Maybe they tried reaching out to someone before, and instead of being met with love, they were met with silence. Maybe they opened their heart, and it was shut down. And now, even though they love you, even though they want to be close to you, the fear of being pushed away keeps them at a distance. There are also people who convince themselves that you don't need them. They think, they're doing fine without me. Why should I interfere? They have their life, their routine, their happiness. I don't want to disturb that. It's not that they don't want to talk to you, it's that they've built up this idea that you're better off without them in your life. And maybe, just maybe, they're waiting for a sign from you. A small sign that lets them know it's okay to reach out, that you won't push them away, that they still have a place in your life. Overthinking plays a major role too, Some people replay conversations in their mind 100 times before even sending a simple text. They analyze every possible reaction, every possible outcome, and by the time they're done overthinking, they've convinced themselves that reaching out is a bad idea. What if they don't respond? What if they've moved on? What if they don't feel the same way anymore? And instead of taking the risk, they choose to stay quiet, not because they don't care, but because their fear of the unknown is stronger than their desire to connect. Then there are those who have hurt you before, and they know it. They carry the guilt of their past actions, and they wonder if you'd even want to hear from them. They love you, but they don't know if they deserve to be in your life. They question whether reaching out would bring you peace or just open old wounds. And so they stay silent, not because they don't miss you, but because they believe staying away is the best way to show their love. Love is complicated. It's not always about grand gestures or constant communication. Sometimes, love means stepping back because you don't want to make things harder for the person you care about. Sometimes love is quiet, hesitant, and full of fear. But just because someone is afraid doesn't mean they don't care. Just because they're silent doesn't mean they don't love you. They might just be waiting for the right time, waiting for a sign, waiting for the fear to pass. And if you love them, maybe you don't have to wait. Maybe you can be the one to break the silence, because sometimes all it takes is one message, one call, one small effort to remind them that love doesn't have to be so scary. They love you, but they don't reach out. And one of the biggest reasons is that they think you don't care. It might not even be true, but in their mind, they've convinced themselves that you've moved on, that you're too busy, that you don't need them in your life the way they need you. And once someone starts believing that, they pull back, not because they want to come, but because they don't want to feel like they're forcing themselves into your life. Maybe they used to reach out all the time. Maybe they were always the first to text, the first to call, the one putting in all the effort. But after a while, they started noticing something. You weren't matching that energy. You responded, but you didn't initiate. You answered, but you didn't ask questions. You were there, but you weren't present. And after enough time of feeling like the only one trying, they stopped, Not because they stopped loving you, but because they started believing you didn't love them the same way. People need reassurance, They need to know that the love, the care, the effort they're giving is being returned, It's human nature. Nobody wants to feel like they're chasing after someone who doesn't care. And even though it might not be true, even though you might care deeply, if they don't feel it, then in their mind, it doesn't exist. And that's when they start pulling away, That's when the calls stop. That's when the messages slow down. Not because their feelings changed, but because they believe yours did. And the tricky part, some people won't even tell you they feel this way. They won't ask you, do you still care? Or do you even miss me? No, instead, they'll sit with their thoughts, replaying every interaction, every unanswered text, every time they felt like they were the only one trying. And instead of speaking up, they'll just assume the worst, They'll assume you don't need them anymore. They'll assume they were just temporary in your life, And they'll walk away, not because they want to, but because they think it's what you want. It's not just about texting or calling either, People pay attention to energy. If they feel like you're distant, if they feel like you don't seem excited to talk to them, if they feel like you only respond out of obligation rather than genuine interest, they notice, they feel it. And over time, that feeling turns into doubt. Doubt turns into hesitation. And hesitation turns into silence. Sometimes people step back as a test. They tell themselves, let me stop reaching out and see if they notice. Let me see if they'll reach out first. And when that doesn't happen, their worst fear is confirmed. See, I knew it. They don't care. And that hurts. That makes them retreat even further until eventually the connection fades, even though neither of you actually wanted that to happen. It's a cycle that happens all the time, Two people who care about each other but drift apart because one thought the other didn't care, and the other was too caught up in life to realize what was happening. The truth is we all get busy. We all have things going on. But if you truly care about someone, you have to show it. Love isn't just about feelings, it's about actions. And sometimes all it takes is a simple, hey, I was thinking about you, to remind someone that they still matter to you. So, if there's someone you love who's gone quiet, ask yourself, have you made them feel like you care? Have you given them a reason to believe they're important to you? Or have you just assumed they'll always be there, even without effort? Because love, no matter how strong, still needs to be nurtured. It needs to be acknowledged. And sometimes, the only thing standing between you and the person you love is the effort you forgot to make. They love you, but they never reach out. And sometimes the reason is simple. They're waiting for you to make the first move. Not because they don't want to talk, not because they don't care, but because deep down they need to know that you care too. People get tired of always being the one to reach out first. They wonder, if I don't text, will they ever text me? If I don't call, will they even notice I'm gone? And after a while, that doubt starts to eat away at them. It makes them pull back, not because they want distance, but because they're scared of being the only one putting in the effort. It's a natural instinct, Nobody wants to feel like they're chasing after someone who doesn't value them, Even the strongest love can start to feel one-sided if it's never met with the same energy. If they're always the one calling, always the one texting, always the one making the plans, at some point, they're going to stop. Not because they don't want to talk, come, but because they need to know that you want to talk too. And here's the thing, it's not always about pride, come. It's not that they refuse to reach out just to prove a point. It's deeper than that. It's about self-worth, come. It's about realizing that love isn't just about what you feel. It's about what you show, become. And if they feel like they're the only one showing it, they start questioning if they're even wanted in the first place, come. Some people sit there with their phone in their hands, staring at your name, wanting to message you so badly, but they don't, come. Not because they don't care, but because they're tired of being the only one trying. They wait, hoping that maybe this time, come, you'll be the one to reach out first. That maybe. This time, you'll show them that they're just as important to you as you are to them. And you know what? A lot of relationships, friendships, even family bonds fall apart not because the love is gone, come, but because both sides are waiting. Both sides are thinking, why should I reach out first? Both sides are wondering, come, do they even care? And in that silence, distance grows. In that waiting, connections fade, come. All because no one wanted to be the first to break the silence, come. Think about it. How many times have you thought about someone but didn't text them, come? How many times have you missed someone but didn't call because you were waiting for them to call first? And now, come, how many relationships have you lost because of that? Because both of you were too busy waiting instead of just reaching out. The truth is, come, love isn't a game. It's not about keeping score. It's not about who texted first last time or who called last, come. It's about making sure the people you love know that you love them. It's about showing up. It's about effort, come. So if there's someone on your mind right now, someone you love who hasn't reached out in a while, don't sit there waiting. Pick up the phone, come. Send the message, make the effort. Because sometimes all someone needs is that little sign that they're wanted, come. That they're not the only one who cares. That they're not alone in this. Because at the end of the day, come, you don't lose people by reaching out too much. You lose people by assuming they'll always be there, even when you don't. They love you, come, but they don't reach out. And sometimes it's because life has a way of pulling people in different directions, come. It's not that they've stopped caring. It's not that their love for you has disappeared, come. It's just that they're caught up in their own struggles, their own responsibilities, their own battles that you may not even know about. Come, life happens, people get overwhelmed. They get buried under work, family, obligations, personal issues, come. And the everyday stress of just trying to make it through. And in the middle of all that, reaching out, even to the people they love, can feel like just another thing on a long list of things they don't have the energy for, come. It's not that they don't want to talk to you. It's just that their mind is so full, so drained, that they convince themselves, come, I'll reach out later. And then later never comes. Sometimes they feel guilty about it, come. They know it's been too long since they last spoke to you. They know they should check in. They should call, they should make the effort, come. But the more time that passes, the harder it becomes. They start thinking, what if they're mad at me for not reaching out sooner, come. What if it's awkward now? What if they think I don't care? And instead of fixing it, they keep putting it off. Days turn into weeks, come. Weeks turn into months. And before they know it, the gap has grown so wide that they don't know how to bridge it anymore, come. It's easy to assume that when someone doesn't reach out, it means they don't care. But sometimes, come, the people who stay silent are the ones struggling the most. They might be dealing with anxiety, depression, stress, come, or just an overwhelming sense of exhaustion that makes even simple things like sending a text or picking up the phone feel like too much, come. It's not that they don't miss you. It's not that they don't think about you. They do. But in their current state, come, reaching out feels like climbing a mountain they don't have the strength for. And the truth is, come, sometimes they don't want to burden you with what they're going through. Maybe they're struggling financially, come. Maybe they're going through heartbreak. Maybe they feel lost, stuck, or like they're failing in some part of their life. Become. And they don't want to bring that energy into your world. They don't want to be the person who always has problems. Come. They don't want to reach out and say, hey, I'm struggling, because they think you have your own problems to deal with. So instead, they stay silent. Not because they don't love you, but because they don't want to be a burden. Come. But here's what they don't realize. Love isn't about only showing up when everything is perfect. Real love, real friendship, come. Real connection is about being there through the highs and the lows. It's about showing up even when life is messy. Come. It's about knowing that you don't have to have it all together to reach out. But when someone is stuck in their own struggles, come. It's hard to see that. That's why sometimes when someone you love goes silent, you have to be the one to check in. Not because they don't care about you, but because they might not have the energy to show it right now. A simple message saying, hey, come, I was thinking about you. How are you doing? Can mean everything to someone who feels like they're drowning in life. Come. That one text could be the reminder they need that they're not alone. Come. We get so caught up in our own lives that we forget other people are fighting battles we can't see. So if someone you love hasn't reached out in a while, don't assume the worst. Don't take it personally. Just reach out. Because sometimes to become the strongest people, the ones who seem like they have it all together are the ones struggling the most in silence. And your message, your call, come. Your small effort to check in, it could be exactly what they need to remind them that they're not forgotten, that they're not alone, come. And that no matter what they're going through, they are still loved. They love you, but they don't reach out. And sometimes the reason is simple. They assume you're doing just fine without them. It's not that they don't care. It's not that they don't think about you. But in their mind, come. They've convinced themselves that you don't really need them in your life anymore. Maybe they see you on social media smiling, come, posting pictures, living your life, and they think they look happy, they're doing well, come. They don't need me checking in. Or maybe they remember the last few times they reached out, and you seem busy, distracted, or uninterested, come. And now they think maybe I'm bothering them. Maybe they've moved on. And instead of reaching out, they stay quiet, come. Not because they don't love you, but because they think their presence in your life isn't as important as it once was, come. People don't always express their doubts out loud. They won't always tell you, come. I didn't text because I thought you didn't care. Instead, they just disappear, assuming you won't even notice. And the sad part, come. Sometimes you don't notice right away. Life keeps moving, days go by. And then one day you realize it's been weeks, maybe months, come, since you last talked, and you don't even know why. This happens more often than we realize. Come, relationships fade not because of arguments or betrayals, but because of assumptions. One person assumes the other is fine without them. Come. The other assumes the same. And in that silence, in that waiting, the bond weakens. Come. Two people who once cared about each other deeply become strangers. Not because the love disappeared, but because neither one spoke up. Come. And it's not always about romantic relationships. This happens with friends. It happens with family. Come. It happens with people we once considered inseparable. Life gets busy, time passes, and we assume if they needed me, they would reach out. But what if they're thinking the exact same thing? What if both of you are waiting for the other to make the first move? Come. Sometimes people just need a reminder that they still matter, that their presence in your life isn't just a memory, but something you still value. Come. A simple message saying, hey, I was thinking about you, can break through months of silence. Come. A quick call to check in can remind someone that they're still important. We tend to think that if someone loves us, they'll always be there no matter what. But love doesn't work like that. Love needs to be nurtured. It needs to be acknowledged. Come. You can't just assume someone knows you care. You have to show them. You have to remind them. Because at the end of the day, come, Nobody wants to feel like an afterthought. Nobody wants to feel like they're the only one holding on. So if someone you love has gone quiet, come. Don't let your pride or assumptions stop you from reaching out. You never know what that simple act of effort could mean to them. Come. Love isn't about who texts first, who calls more, or who puts in more effort. Come. It's about making sure the people you care about never have to wonder where they stand with you. Because sometimes, all it takes to save a relationship, a friendship, a connection is one message, one call, one reminder that they still matter.